Our criminal justice system is out of control. The United States has 5 times as many prisoners per capita as any other developed country on the planet. That means we have 5 times more prisoners than totalitarian countries like China, Russia, and North Korea. More than 85% of American prisoners had no victim and are simply imprisoned, their lives destroyed, for behavioral laws such as drug possession. That's not 1 or 2, that's 85% of the prison population who had no victim whatsoever. The United States is the imprisonment capital of the world. This makes a shameful mockery of what calls itself a free country. Of course, some of the blame goes to the prison industrial complex and a misguided law and order zeal by our bellicose politicians. But there's another reason that imprisonment has gone rampant. If you have ever served on a jury, you might have convicted a person who never harmed anyone. You might have listened to the prosecutor tell you how evil that drunk driver or drug user was, and then you decided to enrich the prison system and pack the prisons even more with someone who was not truly a criminal, even though they may have behaved badly. The traditional legal definition of a criminal is someone who has caused damage or injury and either by intention or gross negligence intended to commit that injury or damage. There had to be a victim, and the victim had to swear to the injury. Of course, courts are bypassing all of that now. They're prosecuting people who have not harmed anyone, and they're doing that without any sworn complaint from any victim. They are prosecuting and imprisoning people for bad behavior. Yes, that is based on laws which have been written to punish people for anything society has decided is bad or risky behavior. Maybe you think punishing people for bad behavior is a good idea. That may be a good idea for children, who must be taught some common sense, but when you put behavioral standards on adults and constantly expand those standards and enforcement every year, year after year, you wind up with a massive prison population of people whose lives have been unjustly destroyed and who can no longer contribute to the workforce and the economic prosperity of society, much less the well-being of their families. You only benefit the prison complex profiteers and the corrupt justice system. You haven't provided remedy to any victims because there are no victims. The courts love to punish victimless offenses because they can keep all the penalties and fines, and they don't have to pass those revenues on to victims. I was personally reminded of the problem recently when I was pulled over by a deputy sheriff on a motorcycle. He did not tell me why he stopped me. I handed him a reservation of rights printed on a small slip of paper. He asked me for my driver's license. Since I had just reserved my rights and I did not want to waive them, I asked the sheriff if the information on my driver's license could be used to incriminate me in a court of law. He started screaming at me, and I calmly pointed out that he was belligerent. He became silent, and I asked him once more if my driver's license could be used to incriminate me. Without answering my question and without any further conversation, less than 2 minutes after I stopped my car, the sheriff arrested me, put me in handcuffs, put me in a patrol car, and proceeded to impound my car for simply asking him a question. I'm not exaggerating. I was arrested for asking a question regarding my legal rights. When the sheriff asked for my license, and before the sheriff had established his jurisdiction by stating the purpose of his traffic stop, he accused me of failing to provide my driver's license. He had no right to ask for it. In California, a law enforcement officer does not have authority to demand your driver's license unless he is enforcing the vehicle code. This sheriff did not tell me why he was stopping me, and I had no legal obligation to provide my driver's license, although I would have given it to him eventually anyway. It was pure incompetence on the part of the sheriff, who simply failed to inform me of the reason for his traffic stop. He then compounded his error by arresting me under false charges. This could not be more obviously an unlawful arrest, yet it will be me, not the sheriff's deputy, before a court defending what I did. I have no criminal record, no prior arrests, no warrants. I have my driver's license, my insurance, my registration, all up to date. I do not fit the profile of a criminal in any way. I did not provoke or become belligerent to the sheriff at any time. I was put in handcuffs, put in a patrol car, and watched the sheriff call a tow truck and impound my vehicle, which later cost me over $500 to recover. Our peace officers are now encouraged by our system to escalate in this way on every citizen, innocent or not. Our courts, judges, lawyers, and prisons are profiting from this misconduct on the part of law enforcement. They are protecting no one, They are only generating revenues by official extortion. It is a problem that has gone way out of hand. Since I've been charged with a criminal offense, not an infraction, I plan to opt for a jury trial, and I wonder what will happen if you wind up on my jury. Do you understand the term jury nullification? That means that a jury may nullify the law by refusing to convict. Would you understand your authority to do that if conviction seems unjust or excessive to you? Do you know that, as a jurist, you can never be forced to rule in favor of the law and that you are entitled to